wandering a bit because they haven't taken a minute or two to find us. So just a bit of housekeeping I'm meant to say. There's a fire exit around the corner. It is a little bit odd sound-wise, I think, because we have no ceiling. So if you can't hear, just let us know or move a little bit further forward. And the microphone's here, Lisa, obviously. So I'm Rose Barker, I'm a midwife from Christchurch, and it's my pleasure to introduce Lisa Kennedy this morning, who's talking about Cleft, Lip and Palate, who has a personal perspective and also around designing a guideline. Lisa, after several years of being employed as a bridal wear designer in the UK, Lisa retrained as a direct entry midwife in 2010 and moved to New Zealand in 2015. Since then, she's worked as a DHB midwife both at Waikato and Rotorua hospitals, and is currently studying at Wintec for her Masters in Health and Social Practice. So it's my pleasure to introduce Lisa. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm Lisa Kennedy, and as Rose introduced me, I'm a UK trained midwife, and this is my perspective and my story on Cleft, Lip and Palate. So that's me and my mum. I was the first child in the family, and I was the first person in the extended family to be born with a cleft palate. My dad was in the army, and my mum was living in barracks in the south of the UK, so a long way away from her family, so she had no support, and she kind of just had to muddle through. She told me stories of feeding me milk with a teaspoon, until I had my palate repair at 10 months old. But there was nobody else in the family that had a cleft, so I didn't really think it was going to be a genetic incident. So this is my eldest daughter, Ceres. So when Ceres was born, we found that she had a cleft and a soft palate. It was a bit of a shock, because like I say, we didn't really think that it was going to be, I was going to have a baby with a cleft. So I spent the first week in hospital. None of the midwives knew how to help feed her. Tried breastfeeding her. I was one of the lucky ones that had oodles and oodles of milk. I could have fed the ward. But had a rather nasty experience with a breast pump. The midwife didn't show me how to use it. I put it on and it turned up to full dial. Whoa! Kind of just like, so I just spent, like I say, the first week trying to feed her. And then went home, a bit disappointed that I hadn't really got the breastfeeding kind of sorted, but went on to cup feed her and then used a toddler spout. So I expressed for the first 3 months, and then probably another 3 months worth of express milk in the freezer. I used to go with my little chili bin, kind of everywhere, with my little hand breast pump, and would express whenever I could. So I was once driving, and my husband was driving in the car, she was driving the car, and I was hand expressing, pulled up at the traffic lights, and this bloke pulled up on his bike and nearly fell off his bike. So, okay, that's me trying to feed her in her first week. And this is my little Fergus. Fergus was born 3 years later. Fergus was a lovely quick home birth, lovely water birth, and he had a cleft palate as well, the hard and soft palate. And if you can see, he was quite a chubby little baby there. He was an 8 pound 2, so I think that's about 3.6 kg. And but luckily by that point I was in touch with the cleft nurse at Manchester Hospital. They formed centres of excellence by that point in cleft care. And so it was a Sunday morning, I was able to ring up my cleft specialist nurse, and she gave me some advice because his palate was so wide open, he needs to be led on his side. He had lots of problems with keeping his tongue forward, and by the time he was 3 months old, you can see he'd lost quite a lot of weight. So we was constantly in and out of hospital. He was on an apnea monitor, lying on his side, trying to get his tongue to come forward, and he was burning up more calories just trying to bring his tongue forward, and taking so long to feed that we ended up having to use a calorie supplement as well to help him gain weight. And also Fergus was born with Pierre-Robin syndrome as well, so that's when you've got micropnathia, a short jaw. So that in as well didn't help with the whole kind of bringing the tongue forward. This is Fergus at 10 months old, just after his surgery. Looks horrific, but I can tell you now, he was sat up in his cot within 2 hours, eating yoghurt and playing with toys. As long as his pain was well managed, he really coped really well with the surgery. Unfortunately, Fergus went on to have 2 more surgeries because the first surgery didn't work. And this is my little Scout. So Scout was born 2 years later. Well, not quite 2 years old, a bit sharp. Quick off the mark with Scout. And Scout also had hard and soft palate. By this point, we kind of resigned ourselves to the fact that our babies were going to have cleft palate. Again, microdnasium, Pierre-Robin syndrome, but Scout did really well. Scout really didn't need an apnea monitor. Scout coped with all her feeding. It used to take, an hour or so sometimes to get a feed down. But again, the hand expressing with the hand palm worked really well for us, and she coped really well. Scout used to lie on the side and she used to tickle the top of her mouth with her finger. That was her comfort thing. So the children were in private day nursery, and so I had to go through the whole kind of how to feed my babies with their nursery nurses. So the nursery nurses learned how to feed their babies as well. This is a few years later. As you can see, Scout's chin was still a little bit short at that point, but Fergus's had come right out. And Suez was absolutely fine. She never had any Pierre-Robins. So, and this is a more current picture. So as you can see, they've all kind of grown up to be pretty healthy children. So, moving on. We're just going to look at anatomy and physiology. So it occurs at the moment in New Zealand 1 in 700 overall of the population. We think it can be syndromic, or it can be a single gene disorder. It could be an isolated cleft lip and or palate. The palate actually forms when the baby is about 7-week gestation. The face comes together in 4 segments, and it's when the 4 segments don't quite fuse, that's what causes the cleft to occur. These are some famous people that have had cleft lip and or palate. So sometimes mums are diagnosed antenatally in their scan. Quite often cleft lips are picked up on scan, but not cleft and palate. Examination of the newborn, that's where as midwives come in and kind of really digitally checking the hard and the soft palate. Sometimes if you've got there might be just like a small notch at the back, or a transparent line along the hard palate that can indicate a submucosal cleft. Sometimes they're not even picked up until the child starts speaking, and then investigations are made. So I've just got some words from Gemma. She's on our board member of Cleft New Zealand, but she just wrote down some words. I'm just going to read them from the slide. So, Elise was born at 36 weeks gestation with a unilateral cleft lip and palate and a bifidubula. She was tube-fed in the neonatal unit for 2 nights before she established oral feeding. Her main way of drinking express breast milk was through a pigeon teat bottle with a barrel specially designed for cleft babies. It allows them to feed as they would from a normal bottle, but without the suction required for other bottles. Elise also enjoys breastfeeding. This was mostly non-nutritive activity to help sustain her milk supply. Just scroll down. Elise continued feeding from a bottle, and I kept expressing breast milk until she was diagnosed with a cow's milk protein allergy. She now has a special formula via the Dr. Brown speciality feeding bottle to keep up with her needs. At 7 months of life, she's now had her operation, and she continues to love her milk and not let anything stand in her way. Hashtag Cleft Strong. So when I started working at Rotorua, I asked some of the midwives what they knew about cleft lip and palate, and what would happen if they found a baby with a cleft lip and or palate. And the response really was, oh, they'll probably go to Skaboo. So I set about kind of doing a guideline and some training for the midwives at Rotorua Hospital. So all last year I ran 6 sessions with midwives and Skaboo nurses, teaching them about how to feed a cleft baby. My main kind of advice would be feed them like you would any other baby in the first couple of days of life. Try them at the breast, even if it's non-nutritive, to enhance the breast milk, and cut or syringe feeding until the SLT comes to assess the palate and determine which type of feeding. If we can encourage breast milk to be given to the baby, because it's tolerated better in the mucosal layer of the nasal passages. So I've also put together a resource box as well. So in the resource box we've got the care plan, the examples of the different types of bottles, the blue book. So the blue book is produced by Cleft New Zealand, and that is like the Well Child book, but it's specially designed for cleft babies. We've also got photos of different sorts of clefts, and travel assistance forms and disability forms. These are really important for the cleft families. There are going to be lots of costs involved in going backwards and forwards to hospital visits, and also other associated costs, such as just like a lot more washing, laundry, maybe extra childcare costs if they've got other children in the family that will need taking care of while parents do hospital visits. So I'm proud to be a member of Cleft New Zealand. Now I'm on the board for this. Cleft New Zealand has been going for over 20 years, and just recently we've got a brand new board, and we're doing lots of things with Cleft New Zealand. So we've got a website, and as you can see, you can order the blue book directly from the website. So we also do Facebook support groups, coffee mornings all around New Zealand. We've also just bought 25 breast pumps, and they're free to loan to any cleft parent, and they can have those for up to a year. And we organise the postage and the carriage there and back for the cleft mums. And we're currently updating the blue book at the moment, and we hope to have an app for the blue book by next year. I really want to thank Breastfed New Zealand. Many of the midwives are really familiar with the Breastfed New Zealand app. They've just included a page on cleft lip and palate. It's in the second chapter, in the first few days. So what next? We need LMC and midwives' help. So closing the knowledge gap, what factors may influence cleft lip and palate? This is a new study that's being carried out by the University of Auckland. So the aims are to identify genetic and environmental risk factors for cleft lip and or palate, and to test for plausible gene-environment interactions. So overall the incidence is 1 in 700 across New Zealand. However, the incident rate for Maori is 1 in 500. So it's really important that we recruit Maori families in the study. We are looking to recruit 2 non-cleft families to every cleft family. And the study will take the form of doing genetic swabs just from the inside of the mouth of the baby, the parents and any siblings that are in that family. And it's a collaboration between all of these different organisations, and the study won't work unless we get mums and babies on board. So we really do need the help of midwives to put this study forward. So for more information about the study, there's a poster next to the Cleft New Zealand stand. We've got lots of nollies, so we're trying to tempt people. And so if you want to pop over to the stand, we're also doing a prize draw, so we can email the guideline and the blue book out to you. So if you come and fill out your email address and the back of a business card, we can send that off to you. And at 2 o'clock this afternoon, we've got a prize raffle for a nice bottle of champagne. It's a little treat. So, thank you very much for listening to my talk on Cleft and Palate. I've had wonderful support from the Cleft specialist, nurse and lactation coordinator over at Midwives Hospital, and Arthur Yang at Waikato DHBs, and I'm going to apologise to all my Rotorua colleagues, because all I've done is talk about Cleft and Palate for the last 12 months, so thank you. Any questions?
I just wonder about finger feeding in the first sort of couple of days. Like I did that with the baby, and it sort of sealed the cleft off. And one of the coordinators said to me, "Why would you do that?" And I said, "Well, it kind of worked. I just did it and to see what happened." Have you got any thoughts on that?
Whatever works, basically, whatever works. If it works for that particular baby, every baby is different. So if it works for that baby, then that's great. Quite often when it's just a cleft of the lip, the breast tissue will fall a seal, and it's only when there's a cleft of the palate that you need that vacuum to be able to obviously express get the milk out. So that's usually when the baby's struggling a bit more. So yeah, finger feeding, cup feeding, syringe feeding, yeah. Yes.
What kind of time frame could we consider our babies would need to go in for the operation?
Usually, if it's a cleft lip, they get about 3 months old. They have their lip fixed. About 10 months old to 15 months old for a cleft palate, and that depends on the different centres around New Zealand, and also it depends on the baby's got to grow enough. There's nothing missing in a palate when it's a cleft lip. It just hasn't come together. So they kind of want the baby to grow a decent size and have a good weight gain before they kind of like draw all the tissues together and kind of bring it all back together.
Would you consider coming to Bay of Plenty and giving a talk to the staff there?
Absolutely, no
You
worries.
would?
I mean, I'm more than happy to come out, and I live over at Papamoa anyway. So.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, must be
Yeah, but I'd be more than happy to come and do a talk.